They're always lined up outside Stegman Coliseum waiting for tickets to see their beloved Gym Dogs. Today, the Gym Dog squad goes up against Rhonda Fain and the top-ranked Gators. It's number 1 and number 2, and the Dogs are hungry.
Mississippi State wins. Here comes the ball.
Two of the top teams in the entire nation ready to do battle today. It's the Georgia Gym Dogs against the Florida Gators. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Stegman Coliseum. I'm Corey Kessler. It's an SEC rivalry with a rich tradition in college football and college basketball. But today, Georgia and Florida will take it to the mats. The defending two-time national champion Georgia Gym Dogs against the visiting Florida Gators, who are dominating college athletics. They won the national title in basketball, they won the national title in football, and they come into this meet as a top-rated team in gymnastics. Our top-rated analyst is Lori Strong-Ballard, and she has much more on what should be a match to remember.
Well, Corey, this competition will have a very different look. It is Think Pink night here at Stegman Coliseum, and both Georgia and Florida will be wearing pink leotards for a great cause. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Night. Now, both teams will be putting aside the traditional school colors, the red and black and orange and blue, just for now, but both will still compete with ultimate school pride in a rivalry that is really starting to bloom.
It's kind of more apparent this year, they've won football and they won basketball, and, it's time for Georgia to get something back, and I think that we really have a shot at it. It's going to be a close competition. Definitely it's going to be more exciting for the crowd, our sellout crowd and everything, but it's definitely, it's a test to what's to come at the end of the season. We're really lucky to go up against the high-ranked teams early on, and those are usually the people that are going to be there at the end.
We try not to think about the rankings right now. We just go out there and focus on our routines and in our gymnastics as Gators and not worry about what Georgia's doing. Just hope everybody has fun and we come out with a win again.
Now, with two teams that are so closely matched, this win may come down to the team that can walk the line, the balance beam, that is. And University of Georgia head coach Suzanne Yoklin says that's their best event. They struggled earlier in the season but came back last week with the highest score in the country. And the Gators, they're ranked number 1 on the beam, but that will be their final nail-biting event tonight. So with campus bragging rights on the line, this will be one intense competition.
And the difference makers to watch in the meet, Katie Heenan, the heart and soul of the Georgia Gym Dogs, according to Coach Yoklin, will have to lead her team. Courtney Kupets is a 3-time national champion and an Olympic medalist. See what she can do on beam because she's strong there as well. And Corey Hartung for the University of Florida. She has character, the face of an angel, and the eye of a tiger. It's the Gators and Gym Dogs next on FSN. Welcome back to a sold-out Stegman Coliseum, the largest gymnastics crowd in the history of this Coliseum. And Georgia will follow the rotation of the Olympic order like all home teams do. They're starting on vault. Florida will begin on bars. And what does Georgia have on vault? There you see the rundown.
6 athletes and 5 scores will count. Suzanne Yoklin said earlier landings would be key, especially on this event. Georgia has some big difficulty planned.
And Ashley Kupets will lead off the 2-time defending national champs on vault.
And notice the back brace. She deals with a chronic back injury, but she also fell last week during warm-up on this event. Hasn't trained much this week, but not a problem here. She steps in for the Gym Dogs' big vault.
The senior is a driving force for her team, and her younger sister follows her as well. We should see her later in the match. A replay of the first vault of the event.
Ashley gets huge distance and explosiveness on this complicated vault. Notice the half turn onto the vaulting table. This vault requires precise technique to get that kind of explosiveness.
Meanwhile, Florida counters on bars. Let's take a look at the freshman, Amanda Castillo, Lori.
Rhonda says her freshman group has brought so much to the team this year, not only in talent but enthusiasm. And Rhonda says this athlete, Amanda, has a spicy personality, and boy, is she fantastic on bars.
Just 4'10" and part of last year's junior Olympic team.
There's a major release element. It's called a Jaeger. Judges are looking at those handstand positions as well. They want to see the vertical position right there. Bail to handstand, not a bad job so far. Another hit handstand, just the dismount here. She's petite, she's quick, and it's a double out. She nails the landing. An excellent routine by Amanda Castillo, just a freshman.
Fane's team has to appreciate the effort by little Amanda Castillo. As we take a look at the replay, like you said, she's petite and she stuck that landing.
She got after this landing on a difficult dismount. It's an E-level skill, a double layout. She just pops right into the landing without a movement.
Now here's the heart and soul of the Georgia Gym Dogs. Katie Heenan, just a junior. And you know this team has not scored a 10 since 2004. Let's see what Katie Heenan has on vault.
The vault is scored out of a 10, so really they're going to be looking at that landing, a tiny hop on the landing, an 0.5 deduction, but it was brilliant in the air.
One more time.
An amazing personality. She almost looks like she was smiling as she's running down this vault runway. Explodes into the air with a layout and a full twist. The position of her body was excellent in the air, just an 0.5 on the landing.
Coach Jocelyn says she's all smiles. She's a spark on the floor for us and a team leader as well. She has to be pleased with that effort. Sit tight. Florida's Corey Hartung shakes it up next. Well, when you're the two-time defending national champion, your fans, they get roused up. How about the Georgia Gym Dogs in Stegman Coliseum? And how about Corey Hartung, the quiet leader of the Florida Gators, Lori?
This is a beautiful event for her. She has long, lean lines, and that's accentuated on this event. Now remember, this is the first time Florida enters a dual meet with Georgia where the Gators are ranked #1. They've had their best start this year, and so has Corey. The first meet of the season, she scored a career-high 9.925 on this event. Nice extension, her blind half into an endo. That's called a corkina. Nice combination work there. The athletes are looking for 5/10 of bonus to get that 10-0 start value. They get it through difficult elements like this dismount and combination work. Very strong routine.
They know the pressure's on coming into Stegman Coliseum, and Corey Hartung doesn't wilt under pressure.
Endos like this and Stalder work, the circling work around the bar, has been upgraded at the collegiate level. It's worth a D now. She gets the combination of that into the release element.
And they'll take the 9.850 as Rhonda Fane congratulates Corey Hartung. And we move on to the Georgia Gym Dogs now. Tiffany Tolmay, you see her career best close to a 10 on vault.
Tiffany is an amazing athlete and has the ability to win any all-around competition, as well as the national all-around title, and a huge vault for her. The most difficult vault of the competition so far, that's a Yurchenko 1.5. Remember, Katie Heenan scored a 9.95. Let's see what the judges will give this one. Katie did the full twist. Tolmay adds an extra half twist. Even though her start value won't go up, this is a tough vault to land.
Her coach calls her the rock star of this team because she can get it done under pressure, and she certainly did there with a difficult effort on the vault, as you said. So after one rotation, you see the score for the Georgia Gym Dogs, 49.450, a great effort by Heenan and Tolmay. As for the Florida Gators, we're going to go to freshman Melanie Sinclair.
Now, Melanie tore her ACL before coming to Florida last year. She sat out the whole season in 2006. She came back this year with a huge start, winning the all-around title at the Super 6 competition, first competition of the year. It's great to see her gymnastics back on top. Two huge release elements so far in this routine.
Gained a lot of inspiration from the football and basketball teams. She says she's not intimidated. They weren't. Even Urban Meyer sends letters to Rhonda Fane saying, go get them, you can do it, you can win the national title. Well, here they are against the two-time defending national champs.
Double out, Melanie nails her landing. Another outstanding routine from a freshman. A redshirt freshman, Melanie Sinclair. This was a huge element right here. It's called a Hindorf, and I think it's one of the most difficult release elements you can do because there's only one way to do it, and that is go big. You cannot hold back on that Hindorf.
And she's all smiles after that. A 9.950 for the redshirt freshman out of Orlando. And a solid effort after the first rotation for Florida, Lori.
The top two scores for Florida's team come from freshmen. That tells you a little bit about the future and the strength of this program.
And the Georgia Gym Dogs are ready to battle back. They have a slight edge after the first rotation. It's a close match here in Athens. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back to a sold-out Stegman Coliseum. Welcome back to Stegman Coliseum. Number 1 against number 2 in the entire country. And early on, the Gym Dogs have the slight edge after the first rotation here in a sold-out Stegman. And they're gearing up for the second rotation. Corey Kessler along with Lori Strong-Ballard, the Florida Gators coming into the meet. And here they are, the Georgia Gym Dogs on bars. How about the lineup, Lori?
And notice Georgia's lineup. They are without Kelsey Erickson, one of their top all-arounders, and someone who can score 9.95s on bars. And that means that a freshman like this, Marcia Newby, gets some experience in this competition. Earlier on, she misses one of her major release elements. Tkachev right there. You can see the disappointment on this young freshman's face.
That was a little bit earlier in the meet as we see the replay once again. What happened here, Lori?
Well, basically, this element is about gaining experience doing it in competition. You have to learn your rhythm, your timing, how much power you need in it, and I think she needs just a little bit more experience on that. She overthrew it, didn't turn it over, and her hand slipped from the bar.
And in gymnastics, you can drop the lowest score, so they will likely drop that score, but now they rely on another freshman, Grace Taylor, Lori.
A big test for Grace here, only a freshman. This coaching staff has been so impressed with not only her enthusiasm, but her maturity as an athlete. Doing a nice job so far. Big skill right there. That's called a Komanichi Salto. One of those older skills she's brought back, invented by Nadia Comaneci. Dismount double layout, beautiful position in the air, really fighting for that stuck landing. Suzanne talked about gaining every 10th they can through those stuck landings. Here comes the Komanichi Salto. Very unique, the only athlete in this competition to perform that release move.
What a score for the freshman, a 9.925 when the pressure was on after the fall by Marcia. Meanwhile, the lineup for Florida looks like this, Lori.
The Gators lead with some great experience with 3 seniors, and they will anchor with Ashley Reed, a junior who's added difficulty this year.
So here's Katie Rue, the senior for the Gators.
Yurchenko layout full, grabbing that landing, not a movement there. Definitely some excited Gators in the house. This is called a Yurchenko layout full. It's scored out of a 10, a round off onto the board, that blind reach back onto the vaulting table, a layout with a full twist.
So much confidence in the Gators, Lori. You can sense that they feel this could be their year, and here's a perfect proving ground. Well, Kanie Heenan, meanwhile, career best on bars. She's the leader for the Georgia Gym Dogs. Let's see what she has for her home team.
Katie won the bronze medal on bars at the 2001 World Championships. This is a great event for her. Boy, we've seen some amazing individual athletes in this competition. Line to a Jaeger. Beautiful job on hitting her handstands. Again, a handstand on the low bar. Right into a toe on. Back up to the high bar.
She's almost like a coach on the floor, according to Coach Yocklin. She has so much confidence in her team leader.
So much experience. Takes it home there with a double front, just a tiny step on the landing. A very clean bar routine, though.
Always smiling, so poised. And a great effort there. She misstepped a bit on the landing, correct, Lori?
A little bit, and here is one of her combinations. That's a Jaeger. It's a D-level skill. Katie did a great job of hitting her handstands, though. Just that tiny step on the landing for about a 10th.
Coming up, we'll see the Olympic medalist Courtney Kupets on bars for the Gym Dogs. Florida counters with Ashley Reed. Welcome back. The largest crowd ever to watch a gymnastics meet in Athens, Georgia. And why not, Lori? Number 1 against number 2. Amanda Castillo for the number 1 Gators right now.
And boy, this crowd is getting their money's worth. We've seen some great gymnastics tonight. And Amanda is petite, she's quick and powerful, and that means she's great on floor and vault. Big time difficulty here. Yurchenko 1.5. The same level of difficulty that we saw Georgia's Tiffany Tolnay do a little bit earlier. Let's take a look at the difference in these two vaults. Tiffany scored a 9.95. This is the 1.5 twisting. A little bit of a direction problem there, a little bit flatter, and you can see it in the score, 9.825.
To the U.S. Olympic team member in 2004, Georgia's Courtney Kupets.
So Georgia has a world bronze medalist in Katie Heenan, followed by a world champion and Olympic bronze medalist in Courtney Kupets. They're looking good. New release element right here. Toe on, Tkachev, excellent job. One of the most difficult skills you can do, and it's new for Courtney. It's impressive to see some of these collegiate athletes continuing to learn in their gymnastics. Hop full to Tkachev, little shy of handstand on that last handstand. Just the dismount now, looking for a landing. Beautiful height, drops into a stuck landing. World class.
Impressive when Coach Yocklin was talking about all of her athletes. They come to Georgia knowing that they're going to have to improve and start from scratch. And Courtney Kupets certainly takes everything serious in college.
Athletes of this caliber love to get better, to learn new gymnastics, and Courtney continues to get better. Beautiful height in that dismount, very impressive.
And a 9.9 for Courtney Kupets. So after the second rotation for Georgia on bars, Grace Taylor with a personal best, Lori.
Corey, that is Grace under pressure. That is something special. Georgia can drop that 9-2. So now Florida and Georgia keep this meet very close.
Here's Ashley Reed. Her hometown is Davie, Florida. She's up on vault.
The same style, big vault, the Yurchenko 1.5 with that blind landing, just a tiny hop on the landing. We talked about her increasing her difficulty this year. She's done it across all 4 events, but she's especially proud of this vault. Yurchenko 1.5. She adds an extra half twist to the full. It is a blind landing, so difficult to land. Big score, 9-9.
So after the second rotation, Florida's vault scores look like this. Katie Rue and Ashley Reed with 9-9s, Lori.
Ashley anchoring with an impressive 9-9. That matches her high score this year. The Gators are coming on strong.
Coach Rhonda Fain feeling the energy going into the third rotation. Her team has just over a 1/10 of a point lead over the two-time defending national champion Georgia Gym Dogs. Suzanne Yocklin and her team, she's going to rally. We'll see what happens in rotation 3. Young and old here in Stegman Coliseum. What a great dual meet they've seen thus far.
Well, Lori, midway through the competition, the top 2 ranked teams in the entire country. Your thoughts going into the second half of this dual meet?
Well, before the competition, Coach Suzanne Yocklin told us that in a competition of this caliber, landings would be very important, and Georgia gave away more than they wanted to on their landings on vault, and overall, Florida did a much better job in their landings, and now we're seeing a very tight competition.
We know we still have the beam to watch, and we know how good both of these teams are in that apparatus.
Always beam is that make or break event, and remember, Georgia and Florida are ranked number 1 and 2 in the country. Florida's ranked number 1, but they'll be on the beam, while Georgia is on the floor, and this crowd is boisterous. The energy level is so high in here, so Florida will need to remain focused to hit that event.
And speaking of focus, the Georgia Gym Dogs always focused in on what their coach Suzanne Yocklin has to say. She told us earlier she still believes in her beam team despite some inconsistencies.
I still will stay the course with what I believe, and that is that this is the best beam team that Georgia has ever had in 23 years. From top to bottom, we're 9.9. We have 3 or 4 girls in our lineup that could all be national champions on the balance beam. You will see execution that is so precise and so beautiful and so flawless that even when there's a wobble and a mistake and a low score, you can recognize the execution and the precision in everything that our team does on the balance beam.
First meet of the season, Georgia proved their excellence on the beam. They struggled after that, but came back strong and now are on top of their game. 2 highlights here, Courtney McCool and Courtney Kupets in this lineup are Olympians, and Kupets is the defending national champion on beam.
And here for the Georgia Gym Dogs is Tiffany Tolnay, her career best, a 9.925 on beam. As we're in the third rotation of this tight meet at Stegman Coliseum.
Tiffany's an All-American on this event, showing nice amplitude in her switch side. The judges want to see at least 180-degree split. Comes along with a great beam worker is that they often surpass that 180-degree split. Back handspring layout and solid. Suzanne talked about them having a great beam team, and a great beam team has the ability to do 3 things. Front tuck for Tiffany, and that is throw the big difficult skills like those front tucks. Do it with consistency and execute with a high level of precision. The pointed toes, the beautiful extension, the precise landing positions.
Just 4 inches wide is that beam. It's amazing.
Combination of leaps, switch leap to a straddle jump. Getting ready to tumble into her dismount, 2 back handsprings to a double back sky high, and she over-rotates it 2 steps on the landing. Couple tenths deduction right there on the landing, but a solid routine throughout. Here's that dismount. It's so difficult when you add the tumbling before the double salto, which, by the way, is an E-level skill, the most difficult dismount that you can do in collegiate gymnastics. That's an upgrade from the junior Olympic level.
Still, she turns out with a 9.7 for Tiffany Tolme. For Florida, here's what they have coming up on floor. Katie Rue and Savannah Evans. Savannah Evans, a senior for the Gators.
And you know the Gators are well known for that Gator chomp in their floor routine. It'll be interesting to see whether or not they keep those Gator chomps in these routines, considering they are competing in Bulldog country right now.
And so experienced in the floor exercise. She finished 10th in the NCAA in the floor exercise last year. Savannah Evans, Lori.
Savannah's well known for her smile and her powerful tumbling. And we'll see that with her opening pass here. A strong front tumbler opens with a double front. The only athlete in this competition to perform that skill.
How difficult is it to perform in front of the opposing home team audience, Lori?
It's always difficult to come into someone else's house, especially when you're a Gator competing in Stegman Coliseum in front of a Georgia crowd. But you know, that's what's exciting about collegiate gymnastics. These athletes, and they'll tell you, they absolutely love competing at home and away in front of these huge crowds.
You can see it in her face. She's all smiled, Savannah Evans.
Now, Savannah has officially retired her Cotton Eye Joe routine that everyone remembers over the past couple years. This is a new routine that she's debuting in her senior year. A little bit more of a mature look. Music will slow down here a little bit, give Savannah a chance to catch her breath before her final tumbling pass. Routine is up to 90 seconds long, and it is go, go, go. This final tumbling pass is so difficult in terms of endurance, and it's a big one, double back. Beautiful height. Great routine. Georgia opens the door just slightly with steps on the landing from Tolne, and Savannah comes back strong with this powerful tumbling and a brand new floor routine, opening with that double front pass clean into the lunge.
So she gets a 9.825 for her Florida Gators on the road. Next on beam for the Georgia Gym Dogs, Courtney McCool. You see, she won a silver medal in the Athens Games of 2004.
Such an amazing athlete. That skill right there, the mount, is called the McCool. It's named after her. When a gymnast gets a move named after her, if she is the first one to compete it at a World Championships or an Olympic Games, it's submitted to the Federation of International Gymnastics. They okay it, and they actually put it into the code of points.
We can tell the audience that there is a Lori Hop, can't we?
If you must. Now, Courtney had 2 surgeries on her wrist and did not compete for 2.5 years. She's back into competition now, really enjoying her role on this Georgia team. Just a slight wobble there, but using her experience to work through it. Courtney's very well known for her beautiful legs and toe point. She has a quality that not many athletes have, especially on this event. She can be absolutely brilliant. Here comes the dismount, round off, double twist, legs are glued together, just a tiny step on the landing. But that's the execution and the precision that Suzanne was talking about. This is such a high level of precision. Beautiful toe point in the front aerial, right into a sheep jump there. The judges want to see those feet at the height of the head at the peak of the jump.
Certainly an athlete that Coach Jocklin can look to for the future of the Georgia Gym Dogs, a 9.825 as we are in the third rotation here in Stegman Coliseum. Now we move on to the Florida Gators and Amanda Castillo in the floor routine.
You're going to see some of that fiery personality come out in her choreography here. Full and back out in a pike position. Barely ran into that, and that just tells you what kind of power and quickness this athlete has. What I've been impressed with is that she hasn't been fazed by this crowd here. It is a huge crowd. It is so loud in here, but Amanda's standing on the sidelines throughout this entire competition, dancing and having a great time.
And just a freshman with such composure. It's remarkable to see, Lori.
Fantastic choice of music. Really accents her personality.
She's got that spunk. Just 4'10", Lori. It's amazing. She's larger than life out there.
Amanda was the 2004 and 05 Level 10 National Floor Champion. She scored a 9.9 last meet against Alabama. Obviously, she gets up for those big-time competition.
And this is just that. The top 2 ranked teams in the nation coming in.
Finishing up with a double pike, solid landing. A great routine, a fun routine, and we have to notice, no gator chomp in there. There was no gator chomp in Savannah's routine as well. Very interesting.
One more look at the gator freshman from Sanford, Florida.
In her middle tumbling pass, she shows 2 different saltos, a whip back into a double back, plenty of height and power.
A 9.850 for the Gator freshman. Katie Heenan is the clutch performer you'll see next. You have to save those memories of a lifetime, and this gymnastics dual meet is just that. The top 2 teams in the country here in Stegman Coliseum. The Georgia Gym Dogs and Courtney Coupettes on beam, Lori.
This competition is packed full of superstars, especially Courtney Coupettes. She's won medals at the World Championships, the Olympic Games, 3-time national champion as a freshman. A national champion on balance beam, and you'll see why here. Back handspring, layout, solid, so much confidence. Front aerial, very good job of keeping her arms positioned over her head. Nice and precise on top of the balance beam. Cat leap to a switch side. Looking for the 180-degree split in her switch leap into a gainer layout. Gainer layout gives her a D-level skill. That gives 1/10 of bonus in difficulty. A gainer full dismount. Courtney can do a little more difficulty in that dismount, but she is nursing plantar fasciitis, a tendonitis of the tendon on the bottom of the foot. It's very painful. They've been easing her into the all-around competition this year.
And it speaks for itself with a score like that, a 9.950 for Courtney Coupettes and the Georgia Gym Dogs. Now for the Florida Gators, Melanie Sinclair, the second floor routine in 2007 for Melanie.
That's right, she's only competed on floor once this season. That was the first meet of the year. Another athlete that these coaches are sort of easing her back into competition after tearing her ACL before coming to Florida. Opening with a double Arabian, beautiful height. This could turn out to be one of her best events. She's absolutely amazing on bars. We saw her there earlier in this competition. She has that lively personality and big, powerful tumbling. That all adds up to a huge score. Whip to immediate double twist.
You notice the power she has in her legs, Lori.
Still smiling, looking like she's having a good time as she heads into that most difficult final tumbling pass, double pike, clean on all 3 landings. Very good job.
We'll see what the judges have to say as we take one more look at the freshman for the Florida Gators.
This opening pass was huge. It's called a double Arabian. You'll notice that she does a half turn from the floor into a double front. Yes, there will be a little bit of a deduction for the cowboy position of her legs, but other than that, it was pretty clean.
Rhonda Fain inspiring her troops. They're in Stegman Coliseum as the #1 team in the country, and after the 3rd rotation for Florida, Melanie Sinclair with that effort, a 9.875, a team overall of 49.150. And it's time for Katie Heenan on beam for the Georgia Gym Dogs. Remember, folks, in 2005, she was the clutch performer for this team and has taken over that role after helping her team win the SEC title in 2005.
That's right, Corey. Just as a freshman in 2005, she was last up on beam. It was Georgia's last event, and her performance gave them that team title win at the SEC Championships. And over, even this year, she has been that clutch performer for them, ensuring victories. So far in this competition, Georgia has walked the line. No major breaks so far, but they would like to drop that 9-7 from Tiffany Tolnay and replace it with something in the 9-9s. Just tiny wobbles here from Katie. As you can see, she's thinking through her landings, making those corrections. Big focus here, heading into the dismount. Just a landing here. Double twist. Gets the stick. Fantastic job. Another clutch performance for Katie Heenan. Here's that front tuck. It's a D-level skill, 1/10 a bonus right there. Just slightly off on the landing, but she quickly gets her arms back in order and saves herself from a fall.
And helps her team with a 9.9. A nice effort by Katie Heenan. Here's after the 3rd rotation for Georgia on the beam.
Georgia starting to pull ahead here, once again proving their excellence on the balance beam. Courtney Coupette's the national champion with a 9.95. Impressive.
And the beam puts Georgia back in the lead, an ever so slight margin. We're ready for rotation 4 when we come back. Can the Florida Gators leave Stegman Coliseum with a win over the 2-time defending national champion Georgia Gym Dogs? We have 1 rotation left, and you see how tight the score is. The Gym Dogs with a slight edge as we head to the lineup for Florida on beam.
Smart choice by Rhonda, leading off with experienced seniors. The question is, how will Florida's beam team handle this atmosphere?
So many situations within our conference as well that prepare the athletes for that. Last year we were at Alabama and they had 15,000 fans. So this team has been there, they've done it, and it's just a matter of, like the athletes said, blocking it out. But I think they'll be fine.
Been there, done it. Yeah, tell that to a freshman. Believe me, this kind of atmosphere can be daunting for someone who's never competed in it.
Well, someone who has the eye of a tiger is Corey Hartung for the Florida Gators. If anybody can do the job, it's Hartung on beam.
Corey is so focused in everything she does, and that certainly pays off on the balance beam, showing off some of her incredible flexibility, something that she is well known for. Corey is 5'4", but her long, lean lines and the extension that she gets, especially in some of these flexibility elements, really makes her look a little taller. Front aerial. Coaches say that she leads by example in the gym, an extremely hard worker, very focused.
Remember, the Gators looking for that national championship like the football team and the basketball team. A great testing ground for them here in Athens against the 2-time defending national champs.
This will be one of their biggest tests this competition season. Will prove a lot, not only to the judges and the rest of the gymnastics world, but if they can beat the defending national champions, or at least keep this competition close, they can prove that they can be in the race at the end, finishing with a 2.5 twist. Nice difficulty right there at the end.
And that effort certainly will help keep her team close as they just trail by a slim margin in this fourth rotation.
The Gators are the real deal this year. Corey Hartung, a solid beam performance in front of this huge crowd, ending with that 2.5 twist and a nice solid landing.
A 9.875 for Corey Hartung. Suzanne Yocklin encouraging her team now in the floor exercise.
And of course, Georgia's always the real deal.
And here's the deal for Georgia on the floor exercise.
The defending national champions will finish with that 1-2 punch of Katie Heenan and Tiffany Tolnay, two big, powerful tumblers.
But here's our first look at Grace Taylor in the floor exercise. Such personality, Lori. In a meet against Arkansas, she went over to the Arkansas fans and she said, "We don't appreciate when you're booing us." So you know she has a lot of confidence as a youngster.
And a whole lot of gumption, this athlete. Beautiful whip back to a double pike. Something else you don't always see coming from a freshman is that release of the personality, really going out there and performing the routine. Sometimes that is something that needs to be learned, and experience really helps that out. We see that from the start with Grace.
Remember talking to Coach Yocklin before this meet, and she said that's something she appreciates about Grace Taylor. It kind of helps inspire her team because she's such a youngster.
Let's take a look at a stat about the Gym Dogs. They are 7-0 when they are up against #1 teams in a dual meet situation, going all the way back to 1992. So if history repeats itself, this is going to be a dogfight right to the end. 2.5 twist. Grace steps out of it just slightly, but tries to cover it up with dance. Excellent job from a freshman. Grace has been outstanding tonight. Let's take a look at this tumbling pass. It's a whip back into her double pike. Beautiful height, fully rotated. The chest finishes up on top. That's how it's done.
9.825 for the freshman from Aiken, South Carolina. As we head to Ashley Reed for the Florida Gators on beam. Ashley struggled with injuries last year, but feels she's back on her game.
She was Florida's top all-arounder as a freshman. And now this year, she's added some more difficulty to her routines. Starting off strong with a switch leap to a gainer, one-arm back handspring in combination. Last season, Coach Rhonda Fain had this specific goal to add that extra difficulty to all of her athletes' routines early in the season so that they would be prepared by that championship portion of the season. And it paid off, and it continues to pay off this year. Back handspring, layout, back handspring, a tumble series with 3 elements. Slight wobble on her full turn. Something else we've noticed about Florida is that they are verbally committing to the fact that they want to be national champions, and that is the first step. To set the goal, to admit it, that is what you want to accomplish.
And they've taken steps each and every year to achieve that goal.
Sisson to a gainer layout. Just a note on the judging, we've noticed that the scores are a little bit higher overall this season. They've had a deduction last year that the routines had to be up to the level of competition. That basically meant that they wanted the athletes to go over and above the difficulty requirements. They've eased up a little bit on the difficulty requirements this year.
No sign of injury on this routine, Lori.
She goes above and beyond the difficulty requirements, doing a triple flight. The athletes are only required to do actually 2 flight elements in combination.
Yes, Ashley Reed, your Florida Gators are #1 coming in. We're coming down to the final routines when we come back. Welcome back to Stegman Coliseum, the final routines, the Georgia Gym Dogs and the Florida Gators, top-ranked teams in the country.
And tonight they put away their traditional colors, the red and black and orange and blue, for pink. It's Think Pink Night here at Stegman Coliseum, and for a great cause. It is for breast cancer awareness and to raise funds for breast cancer research.
And everyone aware of the drama here in the final routines of this all-important meet between the Gym Dogs and the Gators. This is Katie Heenan.
It's amazing that the two top teams in the country can go head-to-head and keep a competition so close and at the same time, really do something wonderful for a great cause. They're rivals, but they're coming together here for a good cause.
The Gym Dogs with a slight edge in this fourth rotation. Katie Heenan looking for a big score to separate the margin.
Leaning on their go-to girl once again here. Katie came through for them with a 9-9 on beam earlier tonight. They want a big score from her on floor. Showing off that great personality. That's definitely something great that Georgia brings to this Georgia team. Not only her confidence and her consistency, but her attitude.
She just
so
looks
positive.
She looks so comfortable out there, Lori, so at ease with her performance.
Finishing up big with a double pike. That's the routine that Georgia was hoping for. That's the routine they were depending on.
And they got just what they needed from their team leader, the heart and soul of this team, according to her coach.
Opening pass, front double twist to a punch front. She does it on what's called a sting mat, and it does just that. It takes the sting out of the ankles on these really high-pressure tumbling elements. Huge score.
And that deserves a hug from Coach Yocklin. Now here's Amanda Castillo, the freshman for the Gators. So much pressure, Lori, the final routines on the road at Georgia. Such competition and such tradition in all sports, and now in gymnastics.
Amanda's just a freshman, but tonight she's performed solid as a senior. The pressure's on now with the tumble series, and she's off the beam. 5/10 deduction right there. Big miss. Remember, in college gymnastics, 6 athletes compete, 5 scores count. So Florida can drop this score.
But how difficult is it to remain focused after a fall like that?
It's so important not to get wrapped up in your mistake, to continue with the routine and take one skill at a time, and to stay focused, especially in an atmosphere like this. This is a great learning experience for Amanda, and this will take her far throughout this season. She's going to be in this position many times at the SEC Championships, Regionals, Nationals. She'll have her chance. Keeping that focus here. You can see it in her face. Into a big dismount, a double pike. Well done. She really tried to discipline the landing. She did take the step on the landing.
Lori, let's take a look and see what happened. What went wrong here for Amanda?
4-inch wide beam. There is a small margin for error. On this tumble series, you have to be aggressive and stay square. You can see her hips come out of line on the landing. She doesn't pull her chest up for that landing position.
But they will drop that score. So the Florida Gators, after the beam in the fourth rotation, have a 49.300 overall score in that rotation. So what that means, everybody, is this, that Tiffany Tolnay needs a 9.925 for Georgia to tie the visiting Florida Gators in this dual meet.
And consider this, a 9.925 would match not only her season high, but her career high. So Tiffany needs a peak performance right now.
Her coach calls her a rock star.
Oh, Roxas opening pass, double Arabian, excellent job.
She looks poised.
Front full in combination. This is an amazing position to be in. Knowing that you have the goods to do it, competing in front of the home crowd, the energy level here is just amazing. So much fun for Tiffany as a competitor.
And great practice for down the road in the SEC Championships.
Absolutely. We're seeing the tumbling, we're seeing the personality, the clean choreography, leaps and jumps. Third and final tumbling pass. With a hit, the score could come. Amazing double pike, huge smile. She knows she got the job done. Now it's up to the judges. I didn't see many deductions in this routine. She opened strong with a double Arabian. Look at the technique. It's right on. Beautiful height, just a slight leg separation, but no problem with the direction. There's the score, 9.925. Can you believe it? A tie between Georgia and Florida.
Just like two heavyweights going at it, Lori, the number 1 and 2 ranked teams behind 3 personal bests from Georgia in the 4th rotation. Kicked off by Tiffany Tolnay's 9.925. Coach Yakla talks to her team. Lori talks to Rhonda Fain.
Well, Coach, you mentioned that this rivalry is really starting to heat up, and now tonight with the top 2 teams in the country going head-to-head, and it comes out a tie. What do you think about adding a little fuel to the fire?
Well, it definitely just shows that both teams are incredibly strong, and every little thing counts. And to come out a tie, it's unbelievable to me because there's so much room for mistakes here or there or little errors, and it's really exciting. I think it's definitely lifted it up another level, definitely between us and Georgia, showing that I think we are the top 2 teams in the country, and it's even better for our conference.
Well, good luck with the rest of your season, Coach. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Back to you, Corey.
Thanks, Lori. Let's take a look now at the all-around results. The clutch performer for the Georgia Gym Dogs, Katie Heenan, getting the job done. Melanie Sinclair and Ashley Reed right behind her. And Lori's with Katie Heenan and Georgia coach Suzanne Yocklin.
Thanks, Corey. Well, Suzanne, in front of a sellout crowd, they certainly got their money's worth tonight. The top 2 teams going head-to-head, and it ends in a tie. Did you ever imagine such a thing would happen?
Absolutely not. When we went on to floor exercise and McCool went out of bounds, I really thought Florida had won the meet. And I was proud of our team for what we did tonight because I felt like we just continued to fight. We had a lot of ups and downs throughout the competition, but they stayed with it till the very end, so I'm really proud of them for that.
Well, Katie, another exciting performance for you, your 4th all-around title, and another clutch performance for you on the balance beam. What did you think of your performance tonight?
I think all in all it was really good. There's still some improvements that can be made here and there, but I was really excited about being able to stay with my performance on the beam and then come back strong on floor.
Well, congratulations. You stayed strong to the end, and good luck in a couple of weeks against Alabama. Back to you, Corey.
It's almost too much to believe. The Gators and the Gym Dogs in a tie at a sold-out Stegman Coliseum. The top 2 teams in the country. It's been a great night. We appreciate you watching. For Lori Strong-Ballard, I'm Corey Kessler. We'll see you next time.